Folks, as we've been covering, more and more people are dropping DirecTV over its decision to censor Newsmax. Tens of thousands have pledged to find new providers. Speaker Kevin McCarthy calling for hearings on this. Governor Ron DeSantis has condemned the censorship, and President Trump has urged people to drop DirecTV and AT&T. For more, let's bring on Newsmax host Greg Kelly, who hosts Greg Kelly Reports, which you can see weekdays at 10 o'clock Eastern right here on Newsmax. Greg, the author of a highly prized new book, Justice for All: How the Left is Wrong About Law Enforcement. Hello, my friend. Great to have you here. You know, in my view, the left has lost the ability to reason and debate, and that's why their anti-American left-wing ideology is so inferior to pro-American constitutional conservatism. So that's why they just want to shut it all down. What's your take on AT&T's DirecTV canceling Newsmax?
Well, number one, I am so grateful to the viewers who have been calling AT&T, calling their members of Congress, saying, this is wrong. You can't do this in America. Look, it's almost like a soft cancellation. They're trying to demonetize us, and that is a clever way, a roundabout way to stifle freedom of speech. And I actually have some friends who don't agree with me politically, but they were appalled by what AT&T did. They're totally on board with free speech, and they have joined many thousands of people calling up and demanding that Newsmax gets reinstated. I'm optimistic. I think that something good is going to come from this, whether or not we get back on DirecTV or, but all of these, quite frankly, new allies that we have who support freedom of speech and see us as a friend and an ally in that important fight.
Yeah, AT&T, DirecTV not being forthcoming with their subscribers, saying, "Oh, we offered Newsmax zero. That's what that's our idea of a fair offer, zero." So they're not being genuine, and they're not being honest, and that means I think they know they're on the wrong side of this. Greg, I want to get to your book, Justice for All. Not only do you detail the attacks by the Democrats on our police, you have some calls to action in your book, and I don't want you to give them all away, but give us some examples of what you think the folks ought to be doing.
Well, there is something that has to happen in America, and we have to have a real conversation about race in place of the silly, unhelpful conversation. And it's not really a conversation, it's a lecture that's coming from the far left. And by we, I mean anybody who believes America is not the problem. We have problems, but we are not the problem. If you believe in the Constitution, if you believe in freedom of speech, if you believe that the police have a role in society, and so does the criminal justice system, we have to be more vocal, because the loudest voices in the room right now are those in the far left who disagree with all of that, and they have fooled so many folks in our culture. You have mainstream corporations now signing up for this perverse ideology that I don't think they fully understand. Black Lives Matter does support the abolishment of police, of prisons, of the nuclear family, of capitalism. And suddenly you have companies like Apple and the NFL saying, yeah, we're in allegiance with that. And it happened overnight without thought. And I want there to be a thoughtful conversation about these matters instead of the stupid one, quite frankly, we've been having for so long.
Amen to that. I only got about a minute left, but I know you saw this story. Syracuse, 11-year-old little girl being shot and killed after just going to the corner store and trying to buy some milk at the store. They have two suspects that have been arrested in connection with this. But now the Democrats are going, oh, goodness, all the kids are being shot in our openly pro-criminal streets in New York State and in New York City. And now we're going to start looking at this, but only because they lost seats to Republicans in the last election. What does it tell us about the Democrat Party in your view?
Well, for those who say Black Lives Matter, they really don't believe it. I mean, the phrase Black Lives Matter, who could have a problem with that? It's the ideology we spoke about. But if you just take that statement alone, too often they don't matter at all. And this is very fashionable for the Democrat Party. They'll move on from this very, very quickly. They simply, for the most part, only care when a black life is taken by a white cop, or the example is so egregious, like in Memphis, which, oh, by the way, no one's talking about anymore. They can portray any police officer as the instrument of white supremacy. So I suspect that this is a momentary fixation, and they'll move on very quickly. Unfortunately, when it comes to lives of color, too many in our society are somehow comfortable with losing those lives.
Yep. Only complete idiots would rationalize that 5 black police officers beating up a black man and killing him is an example of white supremacy in a Democrat-run city, mind you. Greg Kelly, fantastic book, sir. Congratulations on getting it done, and thanks for being here. Always appreciate the visit.